Hello everybody, Joe here with Garden of Luma. Here is my mulberry tree or bush right here. And I noticed in one of my Facebook gardening groups, somebody had asked about the cons of growing mulberry trees here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Because us gardeners here tend to tout this tree as one of the fruit trees that you should be growing. So I want to talk about just the pros and cons of this fruit tree in my opinion. So we'll start off with the cons. One of the cons is that the berries can stain. So as you're picking berries, they can turn your fingers all purple. If you get them on your clothes, it can stain. They tend to drop a lot of fruit. So as you're walking around the tree to pick berries, they can get on your shoes and you can track that places. If you plant this next to walls, pavers, pools, things like that, the fruit can drop and stain concrete areas that you may not want to have stained. So that is one issue. Two is they grow large quickly. They're very fast growing trees. So that could be a negative thing, especially if you put it in a place where you don't want it to grow very large, like next to a house or next to a pool or wall or whatever. So that can be an issue. Third is the berries are pretty small. There are some varieties where the berries get bigger, but even still, it can be time consuming to sit out here picking all these little berries, especially if you want like a big harvest, so you can spend a lot of time out here picking the berries. Whereas something like, a peach or an apple, it's a big fruit, you can pick one and be good. This, you have to spend a lot of time out here picking to get a sizable amount of fruit off the tree. So in my opinion, those are really the major issues that I've seen. So let's talk about the pros. Pros, number one is just that it's extremely easy to grow here in Phoenix, Arizona, which is something that we can't say about a lot of fruit trees, just due to our extreme heat that we get, our challenging light frosts. This takes our winters fine. You don't have to do any sort of protection or anything like that, any sort of special treatment. You can put this in full sun if you want. You can put it in some partial shade. You can see that I have here, it's planted right up against my guava tree. It's only about 5 feet away. And it's next to an ash tree. And it still manages to grow quite well here. So you can put it in a lot of different spots. The size factor can be a good thing. If you want shade, if you want a really large tree, just put it in an area that isn't going to do any damage to anything else. Put it in an open space if you want a large tree for shade. It grows fast, so you can get fruit quickly. I had fruit a year after planting this tree. And I tend to keep mine pruned back really small, so it takes pruning really well. I keep mine more like a bush, an 8-foot bush. It's 15 feet tall right now, and after it fruits, I will cut it back basically in half to keep it small here. Another major pro is just the amount of fruit. Just looking around, you can see all these berries. This thing just gets absolutely loaded with berries. And it lasts April, May, usually about 6 weeks or so, maybe even a little bit longer, where it's just in full out berry mode production here. So you just get a ton of berries. Another pro is just the fact that you can get berries here off of this tree in Phoenix, Arizona. A lot of berries tend to struggle here Berries are more built for our northern US climates, cooler, rainy, acidic soils, things that we don't get here in the desert. So although you can still grow berries here, it is really challenging, and you tend not to get a high yield of berries when you're growing things like strawberries, blueberries, and whatnot, the more traditional kind of berries. So if you want berries, you love berries, mulberries are going to be your best bet to be highly productive and easy to grow here in our area. So in my opinion, I definitely highly recommend this tree as a fruit tree you should consider here for the Phoenix, Arizona area. Those are some things to consider whether or not you want to purchase a mulberry tree. Check me out at gardenofluma.com for more tips on gardening and growing fruit trees, especially in hot, dry climates. Thanks for watching.